Broadcasting live from somewhere in the Shadow Realm, this is YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Here's your host, Doug Dimmaduel.
Hey there, this is Doug Dimmaduel. Just wanted to interrupt before we get this episode started today with the winners of the 100 podcast episode prize. And since we had a lot of retweets, we're going to go with two prize winners. So we're just going to draw two names out of the hat. And the first one is Exiled Walrus, at Exiled Walrus on Twitter. So congratulations, Exiled Walrus. You are the first winner of an ultra rare and super rare card. You're going to get to choose out of the list of ultra rares and super rares that you have the option to choose from. So then I'll send you some over and a additional little prize as well. And our second winner is at Lord Cypher 0. That's at Lord Cypher 0. So both you guys, Exiled Walrus and Lord Cypher 0, reach out to me on Twitter at YuGiOh Deck Talk and claim your prize. So thanks again to everybody for participating, and I think we'll do another one of these giveaways when we hit about 10,000 listeners, and we're getting there pretty rapidly. So yeah, keep on listening and we'll do more giveaways. So anyway, back to the regularly scheduled programming. Hey there, and welcome to another episode of YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Today, I want to do something similar to what I did in a recent episode where we were on the subreddit for Duel Links and found some interesting opinions on certain aspects. Today, I want to revisit the PvP and get a perspective from somebody else, somebody who's reached King of Games on multiple occasions, and just seeing what their opinion on the current system is. So this was... this was under Masarike, if I'm spelling that correctly, Masarike. This is the person who ended up publishing this post on the subreddit and had some pretty interesting points. So I'm just going to go through this, read it, and then I'll do my little opinion afterwards. But here's what the person had to say, and I quote: "First of all, I want to enlighten that this subject mainly, but not only, concerns players who regularly achieve King of Games and other top players. So I wrote from this perspective, as a 10 times King of Games player and top 4 World Championship qualifier, but I really believe this is a concern to each player of Duel Links. Needless to say, competition is a huge part of the game. It's competition that makes players progress and generate the meta, and by doing so many deck lists and archetypes emerge and reach their top. However, as of right now, competition is significantly hurt by the current PvP system. Here are the main reasons. Number 1, the worst issue is the total lack of incentive to play PvP once you've reached King of Games. As a consequence, only a few people actually want to play, and if they do, they just go for play testing terrible decks, sometimes even worse than the rookie ones. So there is little to no motivation to play in King of Games. No reward, and in parentheses here it says, who cares about 5,000 or 2,500 gold every 30 victories, in parentheses. No kind of ranking like the Legend rank in Hearthstone, for instance, no nothing. Basically, once you have reached King of Games, there is no PvP for the rest of the month. And this leads me to my second point. Number 2, the recent updates actually managed to increase the frustration from my first point. The first one is, of course, the season duration, which is now a whole month. The second one, to make things even worse, is that we now go back to Platinum 4 instead of a complete reset. And that 5 rank demotion has 2 significant consequences. And he broke it out under 2A. You can reach King of Games even more rapidly than before. It may not look like it for many players, but a lot of players have already reached it, and obviously at the time of posting it took them at most 4 days to do so. Needless to say, this is insane. Those players now have to spend a whole month with a total lack of competition and PvP. I don't remember of any online game that managed to basically exclude the best players from PvP for a whole month, and Konami just did. Then you got 2B. The average level in Legend ranks has dramatically decreased. Yesterday, I faced many decks that I would never expect to see outside of Silver Rank, featuring 30-card decks, Bazu the Soul Eater, and Riryoku. Basically, players that don't even understand key concepts such as consistency and even metagame. It is kind of logical. Konami just gave them a whole month to climb and even offered them a boost at the start of the season. This boost concept is insane, and by 3 months or so, Legend will actually become the new Silver. I know many players may disagree with this, claiming that reaching King of Games has become too easy, etc. But remember, I'm mostly talking about top players who are eligible to King of Games or have already reached it many times. And those players are also very important for the sake of this game. As mentioned in my introduction, I really wish Konami read this and seriously would think about this. So, that's to end the quote. That's it for what the person had to say. But as you can tell, it was kind of a good amount of information that they kind of grouped into this little mini paragraph set here. So, a lot of good points that the person brought up, one of which is that it seems like if you're a King of Games level player and you end up starting from Platinum 4, all you got to do is climb 5 ranks and you're back at King of Games. So I think if you run King of Games caliber decks, your PvP season ends rather quickly, because like he said here, I mean, it looks like it only took him less than a week to get back up to King of Games, and now is running into the issue of, well, I can't really do a whole lot with this because I'm not going to be playing very many competitive decks. So, I'm not exactly sure what a good solution for this would be, because on the other end of the token, one of the larger complaints and larger concerns was that when everybody got reset back down to Silver 1, you're sitting there, maybe as somebody who just barely was in the Silver level, somebody who's still trying to build their collection and start trying to build more competitive decks, and you end up starting your new season and you're going up against all of these King of Games level players at Silver 1, Silver 2, and Silver 3 as they're all trying to kind of funnel their way, get out of this whole bottleneck situation in Silver and try to get back up to King of Games. And maybe it's not as fun for those players, but for those King of Games players, it's I guess now it's kind of on the different end of the token. These new King of Games players seem to have all of the problems after the fact that they reach King of Games. It seems like all of the individuals who had complaints about how broken the system was, having to play such talented players so early on, aka Silver 1 when we were all thrown back into Silver 1, that seemed to be a problem that you're facing back at the beginning of the whole process. So it looks like no matter what the situation is, you're going to see a problem near the beginning of the game if it was the old format, or you're going to see problems at the end of the game, aka now when you got all of these people doing the King of Games rank stuff. So you got a whole lot going on that it seems like there are some significant issues that do need to be addressed moving forward with Konami. So, not exactly sure what the best solution would be, so I'd be interested to see what some of the people have to say. Just kind of scrolling through the comments here, it looks like there is another comment saying they're going to go... the problem that one of the other individuals doesn't like is going 9 out of 12 duels with basically 75% win rate and not ranking up because they were not 4 duels in a row, then get unlucky and have matchups against 2 perfect hands and then disconnect once. The disconnects still seem to be a big issue. This past season did end up with a few significant disconnect issues, some of which were either when I was about to rank up, some of them were when I was on the verge of ranking down, and it just being that final push to knock you back down a peg. Now, a lot of us have kind of gotten used to it. That's the way that the game has been for a while. So until they work out the server issues, it seems like the solution that a lot of people are still pushing for are the point-based systems rather than the streak-based systems. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, it's not actually a perfect streak. You could win 3, lose 1, win 2 more, and then rank up rather than restarting from scratch. Yeah, that's all fine and good, but when that one loss is due to a disconnect, it's just kind of odd how you get penalized for that one. And that seems to be the big concern with PvP right now. There is a ton of tilt, I'm sure, from a lot of folks. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers going through their experiences and seeing it in action, and sometimes it's just... man, it is just unlucky with some of the top decks that some of these 30-card decks end up getting when you're going through silver and going through gold, while you're sitting there with your most consistent possible 20-card deck and you're just not getting what you need. Yeah, it's frustrating, but that's part of the game. But I just thought that this was a very interesting perspective from what we saw within this subreddit post, just regarding what it is from a King of Games perspective, and just kind of sitting there going, well, there's a whole month to go in this season. I just reached King of Games in 2 or 3 days, and now I really have no competitive play right now. So those King of Games players, my solution to you for now until they change until they change the whole setup with how they're going to do the format is maybe look around, go on Discord, go on a ton of other websites, see if there's other tournaments being run. Seems like there's a lot of high caliber players that are organizing their own tournaments. Maybe here at YuGiOh Deck Talk, we may want to put together a few Duel Links tournaments as well down the road. If we could drum up enough interest, maybe have some good prizes involved for winners too. But at least that could give some of those King of Games players something else to take a look at after they reach King of Games rather quickly. So, It's an unusual problem from an unusual perspective, because I know a lot of us are still just always trying to climb the ladder and always trying to reach King of Games. But now it seems like there's problems on the other end. So very, very, very interesting. Just wanted to share that take with you guys today, at least about from a King of Games perspective. Now, me personally, haven't been there yet. I'm very close. I'm sitting in Legend right now, and maybe I'll get there pretty soon. But anyway, that's kind of it for today's episode. I'd like to hear about your opinions on the whole PvP system, on the whole King of Games issue. Reach out to me on Twitter at YuGiOh Deck Talk. It's all one word, at YuGiOh Deck Talk, and we're more likely than not going to revisit this subject at a later date. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.